Oh, so I get excited anytime somebody got a conspiracy theory about Coca-Cola. It's deeply rooted with me. So I want to get to it. So listen, you know how this goes, right? Question everything. You should. And remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. Let's get to it.
Did you know what Coca-Cola did to the black community? Y'all gonna wanna follow because I'm finna start exposing a lot more companies. So a lot of the employees became whistleblowers in the company. And these whistleblowers said this was going on for a long period of time, where Coca-Cola would go to the rich and middle class neighborhoods, take down all the expired sodas, go back to the warehouse, spray Windex on the expiration codes to wipe them clean, and put new ones on there. And then ship them to the black communities, or poor communities. Now get this part, because this is the worst part. Some of the employees said that the soda was expired for 30 to 90 days, and some employees even said that they seen mold grow in the bottles, and then they would ship it to the black communities. Now I know a lot of you are going to fact check this, rightfully so, but pause to read. Got some more, pause to read. Some more, pause to read. Now, I will say this in Coca-Cola defense. Do I believe that this came from corporate to do this? No, I don't. I used to work for a company similar to Coca-Cola. And some of the management would just want to make sales because it made them look better. Now, I do believe that it was some racist people that just wanted to destroy black-owned businesses. Now, lawsuits have been filed on Coca-Cola from black-owned businesses and the employees. But the employees said this was going on for a long period of time. And I do point at the employees that knew about this as well. Because one employee said, well, I didn't say anything because I was just doing my job. And sometimes that's the problem. You doing your job. I don't know how many people suffered from drinking old soda. But if the blood is on the company hands, it's also on the hands of the people that knew about it as well, but did not speak up. Even though they spoke up now, the damage is already done to some of the communities. Now, Coca-Cola later on denied these claims. And please, go do your own research so you can prove me wrong or know that I'm telling the truth. I would definitely love to know what you think in the comments, and make sure you follow for more content like this. And if you want more...
Now, it's interesting he posed this fact, right? Because I had some sodas down here in my man cave, right? Got my man cave. And I don't really drink soda like that, but if I have like the fellas over or something like that, you know, you want to have drinks for everybody else. Just because you don't drink it doesn't mean everybody else don't. So I had some sodas in here, and they've been sitting in here for a minute that I used to normally restock the fridge. And the other day, the missus was like, you got a soda? And I was like, hey, ain't nothing in the fridge. I'll go get you one out of the closet. Restock them. When I went to get it, I looked at the soda and I was like, dang, you know what? I ain't never looked at the expiration date of a soda before. Have y'all? Which got me to thinking, like, how many expired sodas we done probably drink and never even thought about it? Probably plenty. Plenty I know growing up that just probably sat in our pantry or somewhere, and we didn't look at no expiration date. We just grabbed them joints, got a cup of ice, poured them in there. If it fizzed up good, we drank it. We ain't question nothing. So we done probably drank mad expired sodas. And it didn't hurt us before, but now it's like, now that you know, you're like, what in the world? Difference between then and now. Now you're a little more conscious and aware.
Okay, this is going to be a controversial discussion. I don't believe that the Egyptians built the pyramids, and I'm probably going to get so much hate for that. But you know what? I don't care. So all us conspiracy theorists, we all know Nikola Tesla. We all at least heard about him, at least in the Joe Rogan podcast. I don't care what you guys say. Humans building pyramids, it's just not possible. Yeah, granted, could be a lost technology. Not going to exclude that. Even that, do you really believe that it was humans? We all know that pyramids are also like a pinpoint for energy, right? Not only that, but they're also found all over the world. So don't tell me that they're not there for a reason. I believe that it was the fallen angels with the help of the Nephilim. Not to mention that most of those stones in Egypt were not from that area at all. The only way it could be possible is with giants and the help of fallen angels. Now, why do I believe that it was the fallen angels and the Nephilim building it? Well, I just believe that they wanted to get back to the heavens and try to harness some type of crazy energy to beat God, but hey, what do I know? Okay, this is going to be a controversial.
That's not necessarily a far-fetched type of theory. No, actually, some of that stuff, a lot of that stuff we've discussed, the Nephilim and different things, and those theories about the Nephilim being involved and giants being involved in the building process of the pyramids. They assisted the humans. I've heard that theory. I heard the theory of them using slaves to help build the pyramids. I've heard that theory. But definitely the pyramids being all over the place in Antarctica and different places like that. Absolutely. So it's nothing he really said that really shocked me just then.
You know what degree tilt we're on in the globe earth model? 23.4 degrees, okay? So taken from a 90-degree angle, that's 66.6. Does that number sound familiar? Yeah. Okay, now watch this. The circumference of the Earth in nautical miles is 21,600. That's 6 times 6 times 600. The curvature rate of the Earth, according to them, is 8 inches per mile squared. That's 0.666 feet per mile squared. We're supposedly going around the sun 66,600 miles per hour. The diameter of the moon is 6 times 6 times 60, 2,160. Do you think that all those 666s are a coincidence, or maybe is this a trick from the enemy that lied about creation and tried to make the scriptures look like they're not true?
To me, honestly, this sounds like a coincidence.
The creator coincidentally made every metric of the earth be the devil's number.
Not necessarily.
That's what would have to have happened, because that's what they told us it is. 666 everywhere. I just told you the specific metrics.
This is at its core, though. It just feels like a superstition. Like 666, yes.
The scriptures say that's the mark. You know what?
My guy. So I see that a lot of people are starting to believe that the earth is flat because they always questioned rainbows. And I got the answer for you. So as y'all know, the rainbow is a sign as a promise that God made to never flood the earth again. So we finna make it make sense. Alright, so scientists tells you that in order to make a rainbow, you need a mirror, water, and light. A mirror as in glass. Alright, so let's take it back to Genesis in the Bible. So remember, we live on a flat surface with a firmament over us. And above that firmament is water, and below the firmament is water. Hence why it was so easy to flood the earth when God decided to do so. He opened up the firmament, allowing the waters from above the earth to come through, and also the water below the earth to come from underneath the ground, making the flood happen quickly. So basically, if we being honest, those snow globes y'all be seeing, that's literally us. So back to the firmament. So remember, you need a mirror, which is glass, light, and water, to create a rainbow. See, God said when he created the firmament, he spread it along the sky, which was strong as a molten looking glass. So when it rains and it creates that arc shape from one end of the earth to the other end of the earth. Now, remember when I told y'all that the Antarctica ice wall is actually the end? And that's why nobody is allowed to fly over it or to go over there nowhere near there? But they want to lie to people and tell them that there's actually more land. But in reality, that's where the firmament is. See, because what y'all don't know is the Antarctica ice wall is 360 around the earth. That's where the edge is actually at. And that's why nobody is allowed to ever go near there. So whenever y'all are wondering why the rainbow is shaped like a dome, here's your answer. The strong, molten-looking glass that God said the firmament is, that's that mirror and glass you need to create a rainbow. The sun as the light and the waters from the rain above the firmament. This is his promise as a rainbow is stretching from one side of the earth all the way to the other side, showing y'all that he will never flood the earth again, as it reflects off of the firmament. So to questions like this, science basically gave you your answer. Glass, the firmament. Light, the sun. And water, the rain from above the firmament. Praise Yah. My guy.
Again, and I'm going to say this again. Y'all still haven't converted me yet, but y'all make some great great points. This one here in particular, when you break down, you know what I mean, a rainbow and what's needed to construct a rainbow, that's pretty good. If I was in school, I would be taking that to school tomorrow and hitting my teachers with that left and right, just uppercut, jab, uppercut with that information. I'd be doing that. You know what I mean? I'm still not converted, but that was good. That was pretty good.
An artist from back then named Perry Lonica, right? He had claimed that there's many layers under St. Michael's, yo. This painting is called Dante's Hell, right, yo? And I just find it funny that this shit was way back then, and he basically illustrated Hollow Earth. Now, the other thing that I wanted to point out is this. You peep how that's like the sun it looked like? Hold on, I took a screenshot and zoomed in so y'all can see. They was basically saying that there's different levels underneath us, y'all. And that there's something at the bottom of there, and there's also another sun. It's also funny that in the Bible it stated that there's a place called Sheol. That's like an inner earth. Like some type of hell on earth, inside of the earth though. And I know y'all remember the Hollow Earth scene when King Kong was falling. You can see the sun right there. Is it just a coincidence when you go on Google and you look up Hollow Earth entrances, right? And you see this, and there's a sun in the middle. There's literally places around the world where they say that you can walk to this place, but it takes miles and miles and miles. Like imagine walking downwards to the ocean beyond. So y'all just gotta think, yo. Is this far-fetched?
I haven't seen anybody else talk about this, but and I have been looking. Like I've Googled, I've looked on TikTok. I haven't really seen anyone else talk about this, and I just want to know that I'm not crazy. 2019, yeah, it was 2019, right before the pandemic. I moved to Las Vegas from Atlanta. And when I moved to Las Vegas, first of all, I hated it. Like, I really did not want to be here. But I kind of had to suck it up. And I'm one of those people who are always optimistic. I've never suffered from depression. I've been sad, but I cannot say that I've ever had depression. That's just not something that I ever have. I've never had depression or anxiety. But when I moved to Las Vegas, I started having depression and even started having anxiety. And I remember one time, this happened one time, I felt like I had schizophrenia. I felt like I could hear voices in my head and I could not stop them. And it was so irritating. I was burying my head in my pillow to try and get those voices to stop. It just wouldn't. It was the worst. I think it was like maybe that went on for like maybe about 15 to 20 minutes. And it was so distressing. And I was like, what the hell is going on? And I felt like I had almost like slipped into a different timeline. I was feeling like this is not my life. It felt like, and this is even before we even knew anything about COVID. Like this was in 2019. I want to say like mid 2019. And everything was just going crazy for me. Like I was experiencing brand new things that I have never experienced in my life. Like I said, I've never had anxiety, never had depression, never had schizophrenia, never had voices in my head, like none of that. But all these things were happening and I was feeling like I had, and I remember I kept telling my husband, like, do you feel like we're in a different timeline? And he's like, what are you talking about? He thought I was crazy. And honestly, I thought I was crazy too. And that feeling stayed for a long time. Like I really felt like there was a time shift. Like I know I do not belong here. Like something somewhere cracked maybe, and somehow we slipped into a different time. I still don't know what that was. Now that feeling went away, and still even during COVID, I was still a very anxious person. So I even started taking anxiety medication because I was like constantly anxious. Although all that stuff went away, but like even when COVID started, it was like almost like a confirmation. I'm like, oh my God, you know, like I knew something wasn't right. Like my body was telling me something wasn't right. And I'm just wondering if I'm the only person who felt this. And I'm talking like around 2019. Did you feel like a shift? I can't think of a proper word. I'm thinking maybe like a time shift. I think that's like the best word I can think of. Did you have that feeling? Am I the only one who felt it? Because I 100% felt it, and it affected me mentally, like so bad. I even had to be medicated. It was that bad. Yeah. So I'm just wondering if this happened to anybody else. Okay.
I think a lot of us don't even realize how traumatized we are from 2019 and 2020. Just think about what we experienced and went through and what our eyes saw. Like, remember, bodies, they had nowhere to put the bodies at one point in time. They were putting them in like trailers, the back of like 18-wheeler trailers. They were putting them in there or finding different places to put them. Remember, we saw that. The amount of people that were leaving this earth, we saw that. We experienced that. People we knew, we saw. And them slowly, it's like they contracted it and then they went down fast. You know? It traumatized us so bad. And I think we don't even realize it. Just think back to 2020 and 2019, man, and really go back. If you got to go back and look at some of the news, like articles and news videos from around that time to really experience again what we went through. Nah, bro, you got a rat in your camp. Somebody snitching. They ain't just know to just look at your head and just pat. They good at their job. Don't get me wrong. They good. Or either you just had on a funny looking wig that just didn't fit your head or your face, and they could tell. But if you had that thing on right, which if they had to cut it off, I would think you did. You got a rat in your camp, Holmes. Somebody told on you. Somebody got you locked up, bro.
Okay, so I'm about to go into my job. I work in the dental field, and I've been in the dental field for 6-7 years. And let me tell you, there's a lot of, sorry, I don't even know if I can say that, but there's a lot of things that go on in the dental field that I'm not sure 100% of people know about, and it's disgusting. So yes, I am going to be the whistleblower. One time I was temping at this dental office. It was like some chick and her husband. That's fairly normal for a husband and wife to go into business together, especially like in this field. Oh, my coworker's coming. I have to stop this so she doesn't think I'm a weirdo. Okay, she went away. But anyway, I was temping for this one office, and I was setting up the rooms. And mind you, this dentist had mold all over her tools. All over them. So I spent extra time scrubbing and sanitizing all of the tools before I set up a room for a patient. I set up a room for a patient, and all of a sudden I see her going in there to double check that my work was right, or I set up the room right, and she literally picks up one of the tools off the desk thing where I had everything, grabs like this pointy tool, we call it a scaler, and just starts cleaning under her nails and then puts it back. Girl, when I tell you I almost threw up, I was horrified, but it only gets worse from there. That was like my first experience where I was like, what the actual okay, I had to put my phone down so my coworkers didn't see me. But yes, that was the first time I actually experienced something where I was like, what the heck? And good thing I was there, because that tool would have been going into somebody's mouth. And let me just say, it over the past years, like, I've seen some stuff, but let me know if you want to know more disgusting stories. And trust me, I got plenty, and I got like lots of stories about like how dental fields are like really like over their patients. And basically I come in and fix everything, and then they take advantage of me and I leave. The dental field is hard. It's rough. Okay, so I'm about to go into my...
I hope she exposed them and anybody else that's out here playing in people's mouths and with unsanitary tools and stuff like that. And these are places that we blindly put our trust in. You go in there, you close your eyes, some of you fall asleep. You even get put under sedation, depending on what they're doing to you. And you're trusting these people. And they ain't even got a decency to clean their tools. Mold is growing on their... how else do they get you to come back? Some of that stuff that might be wrong with the inside of your mouth might not be due to you. They could be doing it to you to make you come back. It's like, it's a money thing. And they'll go through great lengths to, man, I hope she reported them. I hope she did. I hope she continues to report. If she isn't, then she needs to report. This is crazy. Give that man a raise. Give that man a raise. He needs to be promoted to a trainer so he can train other pilots and stuff like that. No, we need name. We need his name. So we can make sure we continue to see that he's the leader. He's the trainer. He's teaching people how to fly these planes, fam. Like, he came down and was like, nope, we ain't doing that. Flew back up and then like, nope, not today, not on my watch. We ain't doing that. No. Oh man, that dude right there is the truth. Shout outs to the Michael Jordan of pilots.
They did everything they could, but unfortunately the lady couldn't be saved, which was pretty heartbreaking to watch. Then they went to try and move her, and they just looked at me and saw seats were available beside me. We're in a row of 4 by ourselves, and they just said to me, "Can you move over, please?"
An Aussie couple's dream holiday was ruined when they were forced to sit next to a dead woman for 4 hours on a flight to Venice. Jennifer Collin, a nervous flyer, said the ordeal was traumatizing, and the couple claimed cabin crew failed to offer to relocate them away from the dead woman. To make matters worse, they were forced to wait on the plane after landing as cops and medics inspected the body.
They did everything they could, but...
Oh, no, I get it. If the plane is full, you got nowhere to put them, but you should still do something for this couple, bro. I didn't pay for that, to sit next to a dead body my entire flight. Imagine if this was my first flight. Yeah, they should have did something for this couple. If not, give them free flights for the rest of the year, 6 months, something. Give them a vacation package somewhere. Because that's not something they signed up for. Now, I get it. Sometimes you fool, you have nowhere to put them. But I thought they had compartments for that. I could have swore, and I may be wrong. I thought I saw a video where they was like, some planes have compartments where they can put the bodies at and stash them there until they land and then have them picked up. So, yeah, they should have did something for this couple, man. That's messed up.
Tonight, NASA versus Elon Musk. So NASA's top officials are firing back at Musk. One former senior NASA official, just moments ago, told CNN that they never received an offer from Musk's SpaceX to bring home the 2 U.S. astronauts stuck in space. They never got that offer. Now, why were they saying that? Well, because they were responding to Musk's claims that the 2 astronauts had been left in space for, quote, political reasons. The astronauts themselves, they're up there, and they had to deny this.
We don't feel abandoned. We don't feel stuck. We don't feel stranded.
I didn't believe that when they said it. It feels like they were pressured to say that. Like, no. Ain't no way we've been up there for however many months long that they've been up there when they weren't even supposed to be up there that long. No. Get me home. I feel a certain type of way. Yes, I feel like, and we're still up here for some type of political they wouldn't have handed me that microphone.
I mean, they are on the International Space Station having to respond to this. I mean, there's just some moments in all this where you go, this is really insane. Multiple astronauts going after Musk after these claims, including Andreas Morgensen, who called Musk's claim a lie on X. Musk responded, and I'm going to just quote what Musk said. He called this astronaut, quote, fully retarded and an idiot. So on that note, let's bring...
Oh, he get to say that? I've seen people be canceled. Where's everybody? Like, he got to say that? Wow. I was told we couldn't use that word no more. But growing up, that word was used so often. It was. But at some point in time, it was stopped. Wow.
Bring in astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson, the author of the new book, Merlin's Tour of the Universe, Traveler's Guide to Blue Moons, Black Holes, Mars, Stars, and Everything Far. It is a prominent place on my bookshelf. I put it in the travel section should I ever get to
just in case.
Travel. You know, when I was organizing, that's what I did. Okay, this topic that, right, Musk says that this was, political, that Biden wouldn't bring them down. They have to be, these astronauts denying it on the space station. NASA denies it. An astronaut says it's not true, and Musk, uses those horrible words to respond to the person. I mean, what is your response to all of this?
Well, let's go to the beginning of it all. The two astronauts were never stranded in any normal way we would use that term. And they were joining a half a dozen other astronauts.
I'm sorry. What is it when you can't, you go somewhere and you can't come back the time you wanted to, or you're unable to because something happened to the vehicle that you rode there? What does that consider to you? Because to me, that's stranded. I want to go home and I can't. I'm stranded. Like, what are they talking about?
On the International Space Station, there's plenty of food. Maybe they didn't bring enough changes of underwear. I don't know. But that would be like the worst case scenario. They're both experienced astronauts. And while I don't remember whether this is the longest time they spent in zero G in their astronaut career, but it's a while. And so they have to adjust to that. But they're professionals. So they're not stranded. Second, what a luxury it is to have a conversation about he said, she said, and who said what, when, I mean, think about it. We have options to bring them back from space. One of them is SpaceX.
Right.
And that's evidence to me that we are living in the future, that no one is worried about whether there exists a ship to bring them back. The Starliner for Boeing, that had some risk factors. NASA was not going to take that risk. So you push that aside. Who's up next? There's SpaceX. I'm good with that. And the rest of this is just distraction.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is unfortunate. I say, you read it and you think about people reading it and people using such words, especially people who have achieved so much and you run SpaceX, you have all of the things that someone has to speak like that. At best, it's deeply unfortunate. Let me ask you, Neil, also, the other context here is these asteroids, right? So then the city killer asteroid, I guess it's called...
Oh, yeah, meanwhile, there's like asteroids bearing down on Earth.
So,
maybe
so in case we don't destroy it ourselves, there's something else to do it for us. Okay, so, it was kind of up and it was down, it was vacillating all over the place, and now they're downplaying that particular asteroid that they say now is more unlikely to hit a city.
It's not so much downplaying, there's better evidence available to tighten the uncertainty circle such that Earth is basically no longer at risk.
All right, so,
by the way, that circle still encloses the moon. So the moon's risk. The moon
so Seven Eves becomes a reality. The Neil Stephenson book I enjoyed. Right, you break up the moon and the pieces start coming down.
Yeah.
But I know asteroids are a very serious thing, and there's only so much ability, and I think this is what this brought to bear, to see them within the time frame that one could do anything about it.
Yes, that's a perfectly stated concern. And so we have some telescopes coming online very shortly that specialize in the discovery of very dim asteroids. And these are the ones that can sneak up on us and not give us much time to react, either to deflect it, which NASA has been building that kind of technology. They had a mission, the DART mission, Double Asteroid Redirect Test, just a couple of years ago, successfully altered the path of an asteroid. It was not known whether that would work because the structural integrity of asteroids is not well understood. You can push on one piece that might break off and leave the rest in place. We don't know this. So the more of these kinds of missions that we launch, the safer we might feel going forward when one of these gets discovered that could be headed towards Earth.
Yeah. All right. So now let me ask you also about these executive orders, the DEI orders that are now, you know, at first I think people felt maybe in some of the government agencies, okay, it's just rhetoric. Call it whatever you want to call it, continue with it. It now appears that that's not the case, right? This is not rhetoric, this is reality. Look at NASA, for example, the web pages that would talk about the diversity of the space program. Just to say, look at how diverse our program is. This is something that we are proud of. Look at the 404 warning you get now. It's gone. Programs promoting diversity and inclusion, you know, even, you know, Black History Month, or Black astronauts, women astronauts, minority astronauts, just things, again, that the space program that NASA was proud of appear at this point to have been shut down. You know, you sit here as a Black astrophysicist. What's your, how are you processing this?
Yeah, so when I grew up, people said, oh, did you want to be an astronaut when you were a kid? I'm old enough to have lived through the 60s, the moon landing and the rest. And I said, no, because it was clear they were not interested in me by who they were sending into space.
So you saw the lack of color.
As a child, I knew this. And, but it was more than that. Everyone was wearing like crew cuts at a time when the Broadway musical Hair was number one. So there was some mismatches between who we were sending in space and what culture was doing. I still valued that we were going into space, but I didn't feel like I was a part of that. And with DEI, so I always viewed that as a way to encourage agencies to look in places you hadn't looked before for a talent that you've been missing. And so, if we're gonna stop
now, from that perspective, I could definitely respect that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people are making claims about DEI that has nothing strong to support what they're saying. Some people do, and in this case, I can respect this right here. You know what I'm saying? Like, there should be, and the way he put it was the perfect way to say it. It makes them and holds them accountable to the point to where it forces them to look places that they wouldn't otherwise look, to see the talent that is there that has a hard time breaking through. Respect for that.
Stop that, and you think every person who's the right, who's correct for a job is white male. That's I don't know what that means. And to fire a 4-star Air Force general with an advanced degree in aerospace engineering, replace him with someone who is who's not a general, it would be a 3-star general. We would be the first 3-star general as head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff ever. That seems like a different form of DEI. It's like you're favoring someone else who's not even qualified.
All right, Neil. Well, thank you very much.